Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Good Bit Podcast and welcome to a brand new season. We are here. Thank you very much for joining us. We very much appreciate you tuning in to the audio version on all of your favourite podcasting platforms. But now, most importantly, maybe not most importantly, just as importantly, we are here on video form on the YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning into the YouTube version as well on CM42 TV. And now I can finally see my co-host. Ladies and gents, we're back for season 3. Aron Dockard, welcome back to the Good Bit Podcast. It's been a while. It's been a minute. What have you been up to?
Listen, you look great.
Thanks.
You look great, I must say. It's been a while since I've... Oh, sorry. I forgot.
What's up?
Sorry.
Oh, how embarrassing. Hang on.
I don't like to be... I'm not being one of those... I forgot. Sorry.
Wait, you're right. I don't want to be one of those people that like looks down on you for having masks on.
No,
you know?
No, it's fine if you... I get it. I was being ignorant. I'm sorry.
Here, mate, I don't care if I get it. I just don't want to infect anybody else.
I don't care if I get it, mate. Sorry. It's like... Can you pass... Oh, I've hit my mic. It's like... It's your stop, mate. What? It's your stop, mate.
Aye. Or when you go into like a restaurant or whatever, and you go and you walk in with your mask on, you go up to the person and say, "Hi, I've got a table booked. I've got a table booked for Stones for Christopher."
Sorry, what did you say?
Hi. Can't hear you with the mask on. I feel like we've just discovered the face mask wearing idea and we're like playing with it.
Face mask. Yeah, it's old news, isn't it?
Also, I'm forgetting that we're also on audio version. So if you're not watching the video version, we've just put our masks on because we're not in the same room.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you'll probably be able to hear.
Like in a muffled voice.
Mask on. Yeah.
I'm taking mine off. I'm safe, mate. I've just had COVID. I'm immune.
Right, I'll risk it.
So
only for you, though.
Listen, I appreciate it. We've been through a lot on this podcast. It started out in a changing room cupboard, which is now now it's a changing room cupboard. It originally was a recording studio. Remember that mad small room that we used to record in drama college?
I think we were the only people to ever record in it when I was there.
Only people to ever record in it, but then there was also lots of meetings that would take place. And one day we crashed that during a scene, which was hilarious. But now it has been transformed into like a nice, costume cupboard, which is useful for acting college.
You're all in the know with all these latest N-Clan developments. It's very good.
It's all about who you know. You might notice, everybody listening and watching, that the quality isn't as sharp as it was before in the last season. It's because we're using Zoom so we can record the video as well. I tried recording ultra 4K 1080p HD video for, on Zencaster, the old thing we used to use. But it is, if I'm being honest, it's too much for my laptop to handle. So we're now just using Zoom for the time being until we figure out another way to do it. As long as we're sounding okay, I think it's okay.
I'm happy with it. I think the last time... No, we've done a few video podcasts, haven't we?
Well, we've been able to see each other, but we've not...
No, I know, but we've done some that have been on the channel, haven't we?
That we filmed in just like from one angle or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Did a couple. I specifically remember the Mamma Mia 2 episode with you and Ferguson. We definitely filmed that one. And we filmed one that was meant to be like your last episode or whatever, before you moved to London. And then you were on like 3 episodes later. We filmed that one. Say again?
I had my silly hair.
What was silly about your hair?
Everything. It was like, it looked like, I think someone told me I looked like Margaret Thatcher. I thought it was quite good.
I can't recall. I don't know. I never met Margaret Thatcher. Yes, and we also filmed the one that you weren't involved in. We did like a multi-cam shoot one.
Well, I don't want to hear about that.
With you and Leanne, and that was like
early
days. It was great,
Whatever.
And I think we should do it again, but it was a lot of editing involved, but that's fine.
Well, I didn't get an invite, so you can forget about that.
You weren't in the country.
I wasn't, no, but it would be nice to get an invite.
You're not in the country right now either,
of course. I'm in a country. What is the country? Scotland. No, I'm not there.
So you're not in Scotland. Where are you right
Very
now?
rarely there anymore. I'm actually don't really speak like this. I'm just putting on an accent, so I speak to you. I sound like this, mate. Hello. Hello, how are you? I'm going down the chimneys.
Michael Caine.
Do I sound like this? I've been living in South London too long. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go on the phone to Chris. Let me remember. Hello. How are you? Yeah, I'll speak like that.
I know plenty of people who have like changed their accents because of where they live now.
Who?
I don't know. I can't remember by name.
But like where? Where have they moved?
Or even just like, okay, someone who I know is very Glaswegian and then goes to, I don't know, Edinburgh University, and they come back a little bit and they kind of talk like that,
It's got a bit of an R to it.
and everything's a bit more pronounced. Just because of the people that I'm around.
See, down here when I speak, especially when I speak passionately about something, and if I go, it's like this, I get repeated back to me. Oh, like this, and so I actually find myself becoming a bit of a parody of myself around English people because I'm just like I'm the Scottish one now, whereas in Scotland, it's just
in Scotland, you might be known as the English one.
Well, exactly. A lot of people in Glasgow I met thought I was English.
Why is it that when you say something, not you in particular, but why is it when we say something somewhat funny sounding, or maybe it's a little bit incorrect, people like to repeat it back to you in a mockery? You know what I mean? People do it all the time. Like that, you said something in a different accent that came out really Scottish, and then your friends are like trying to do the imitation of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's a thing though. I do it to them.
Oh, do you?
It's like, oh no, you're going to do that. Well, not that any of my friends speak like that, but
yeah.
Well, some of them do actually.
Well, you would do that as a joke though, because like they were doing it to imitate because you're Scottish, you've got a different accent, whereas we all speak English. You know,
we all speak. Oh, we speak the language.
Yes,
but yes, the accent's different, but it's so there is no English accent. That's also a thing. It's like varied as can be.
I see.
Yeah, but it's like when you see, we're actors now, apparently.
Yeah.
You see these breakdowns come through, and they're like, "We want a Scottish accent." You're like, "What is that?" That's a whole country.
Exactly. When I'm applying for things and they ask for a Scottish accent, do I write, has a Scottish accent?
Yeah.
Or lives in Glasgow? Because I think my accent is very neutral. I think my accent is, I could get away with a lot of things because the Glasgow accent is meant to be really harsh, and you really need to speak like that because I'm from Glasgow, which I don't speak like that. I'm quite general, you know what I mean? But then what does general Scottish mean?
No, you've got a nice soft Glasgow accent, I'd say.
Do I?
I think. Yeah.
Well, listen, anytime I was around you, people in my family and stuff would always say, you always change how you speak when you're around Aaron.
Really? Did they?
Yeah. Because I've been trying to speak a bit more proper, I guess, not because it's you, but just because I'm around another person.
Well, Aaron's just left now. Mum, what's for dinner?
I go back to my original state. Yeah. I think also just because you had a very strong Perth accent when I first met you.
Did I?
Then it just came out again when I first met you.
No. I don't think Perth I don't know if Perth has an accent. It was probably just, to be honest, I think year groups, especially at the school I went to, they just everyone sounds the same in the same year. Really? Like my brother and sister, I'm just like, you all sound the same. And I'm sure we just end up all sounding the same. I think maybe I've departed from it a wee bit, but I probably haven't.
I mean, other people I know from Perth. Perth. Yeah. I would say Perth. Other people from Perth have a bit of an accent, but it's not. I also thought yours was quite strong.
You really?
Yeah, not so much these days. I think you're a lot more just neutral, speaking English, not an English accent, but you're just got a good accent now. But when I first met you, definitely.
I don't know what I am now. I'm confused. I can feel when I'm speaking that I'm not settled on anything. I can do anything. Not in a I can do anything way. I'm just like, which way do I go with this conversation?
Depends on the day of the week, really.
It's not nice. I want to know who I am. You know what I mean?
I get you.
I want to know who I am. You know what I mean? Like, that's not me. I want to know who I am. Do you know? I don't know. I don't know what my voice is.
I've been saying that a lot recently. I've been going, do you know?
Do you know? I do the same.
I don't know why. Do you know?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I say,
I say that all the time. Do you know what I mean?
and they do.
That's all I'm asking. That's good.
They go, yes.
Yeah, because I say it, but I'm not actually asking the question. You see what I mean? Like I'm not. Do you know what I
You're
mean?
just you're kind of saying what I'm saying when I'm saying that is, I'm not an idiot. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? No, we're the same, you and me.
I'm
Do you know
making
what
a
I mean?
point, and I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like it's
You know
like
what I mean?
it joins up the sentences. I think.
Cracking McFlurry the other day. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's good. You know
I also
McFlurries. We
think
know McFlurries.
one of our old lecturers, Ian, who has been on the show many times, that's something he would say
Yeah.
all the time. You know what I mean? Like
You know what? It's probably from him. He affected us greatly.
it did affect us greatly. He's going to be on the show again when we do a wee sort of James Bond style special. I spoke to him the other night. He's up for it. He's up for coming on again.
I remember bollocks. He said bollocks a lot.
I mean, it's bollocks.
He said once, Shakespeare, it's like, every monologue in Shakespeare, especially saying, this is bollocks, and I'm bollocks, and everything's bollocks.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? And I remember going, yeah.
I feel like I just learned something.
Well, that's easy.
Yeah, but then he changed his tune a lot, and it wasn't like, as he had to, as a lecturer.
I like
of
that.
the course.
I like that, though. I respect people who have strong hot takes on things 1 minute, and then the next day you speak to them about it, and they've thought about it, and they've gone, you know what? No, it's not that. I'm like, yes. I'm sorry.
It goes back to
there's
the
a fly.
whole, we can't speak about the film straight away at the cinema. We need to go and have a lovely dinner first and then chat about it on the podcast.
Yeah, but also, I'm sure I like that we've had films we've seen and we've gone pish or brilliant, and then we go, actually, you know what? I don't like that film. We flip flop. It's good. It means you care.
It does mean you care, but it just develops your opinions and stuff. And I think the more you watch a film, do you know what I mean? Really changes your opinion, changes your viewpoint on it and stuff. I also think if you watch it loads and you get sick of it, that's one thing. If you watch it loads and you don't get sick of it, then we're talking like favorite film territory,
I sometimes have a thing when I watch a film that I like, that I've seen once in the cinema or something, and I've gone like, great. And sometimes I watch it a second time and I'm a bit bored or something, and the film's still great, but it might change my opinion a bit. I might think of it in a different way, just kind of subconsciously going, oh, well, that's a bit of a boring film, isn't it? Rather than, because when you see it for the first time, it's just,
it catches you in the hype sometimes.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Tell us about Licorice Pizza without spoiling it, because I've not seen it yet. And I know you love Paul Thomas Anderson. And I guess knowing the fact it was a Paul Thomas Anderson film, you were looking forward to going to see it. Did you have that hype, going to see it?
Yes. I had the hype. PTA, as I've heard it called.
PTA.
You see PTA film. I'm like,
as you know him,
Paul Thomas Anderson, PTA. I like that. Yes, I saw it in the cinema about 2 weeks ago, and I'm not going to spoil it.
No,
I don't know what I could spoil, to be honest, but it left me in two minds. I was in two minds about it.
Really?
I'm going to say that. On the one hand, loved it, obviously, because it was everything, but it was everything that it was just a great experience. Paul Thomas Anderson, it's going to be fucking brilliant characters, brilliant writing, and just a gorgeous film. It looks so good. Combine all that together, and you're having a good time. But on the other hand, in terms of story didn't satisfy me.
Oh,
but then I think back, well, am I satisfied story-wise with any Paul Thomas Anderson? Is that what I like about them? And maybe it's not. I'm thinking about There Will Be Blood, and I'm thinking, that is a strange sort of story, but it kind of, I don't know.
All right, well,
still in two minds about it.
Is it one to see on the big screen? Just the way you said it was like it was a very beautiful film or whatever. I wondered if you're talking about like the colours and the landscapes and stuff.
I wish I could name here the cinematographer he used on this film off by hand, but it is stunning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the music.
Oh, really?
Some of the best the best soundtrack. The thing with this film, I'm going to say, it is if it wasn't a Paul Thomas Anderson film with his writing and his directing and all the actors and the performances and the characters, with the story itself, you might be bored. You might be sort of checking out. But the thing that makes you not check out is just the individual scenes within it, the acting, the characters. It's just mesmerizing. But
that's all you have to say. That's all you have to say.
But you come out of it and go, what really happened there? But it doesn't really matter. So I'm in two minds. You can hear I'm torn about it.
All right. No, I like that. That sounds good. It's good to kind of have two different opinions on a film. And I guess next time we chat, I'll bring you my. I'm going to try and catch you in the cinema next week.
Joe, I did see The Lost Daughter on Netflix. You know the one?
No. Tell me.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh yes.
Her directing debut.
Oh really? She's directing the film.
She's directing the film, and she helped write it or adapt it. And Olivia Colman's in it, and oh my god, names. 50 Shades of Grey. Dakota Johnson. I will say this film. You look concerned. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, because is it not Dakota Fanning that's 50 Shades of Grey?
Dakota Johnson, right?
Yes, Dakota Johnson. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson, I've seen in a few films, and she's good, and fine. But I've never taken notice of her in the same way as I did when this film. She is, just a mesmerizing performance. She's just such a mystery about her performance. Like you've got to watch it. I think it's an underrated. It's gone under the radar, her performance in this film, because she's
What's
kind
it
of
called?
known for kind of. It's called The Lost Daughter.
Netflix.
Watch it.
Okay.
Quite cerebral, but good.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Kind of gone under the radar. Sorry.
I don't think the film's gone under the radar. It's got quite a lot of hype and stuff, but I think her performance in this film has gone under the radar. I don't hear anybody talking about it, but I think it's fucking good.
All right, that sounds good.
Do we swear? I forgot.
Yeah, you can. Who cares? Who directed this film? Rachel. That was a wee Batman joke there.
Exactly.
My phone's ringing. I'm not answering it.
Who is it?
It's my friend Joshua from work. Joshua's been on the show before. A fellow actor.
Yeah. On the good bit.
On the good bit, yeah. Before COVID.
I probably know that.
So that's like end of season 1. Then we had COVID, and then it was season 2, and now we're season 3. Welcome back, Aaron. Nice to see you. Season 3.
How you doing? Season 3. I think it was a good idea. We had come up with that idea of having seasons in lockdown. It gives a good out. It's like we've had a big break, but that was the end of season 2.
If we do 10 of these, and we get
another season.
Another season, perfect. But it's going to get ridiculous after a while.
What?
Season 9, episode 17 and stuff like that. It's going to be like Friends.
Listen, it's fine.
And there's 2 films that I haven't spoken to you about, I don't think, that I'd love to see if you've seen. First off is The French Dispatch.
Oh, yeah.
I know it was kind of the start of the year, or it was late last year.
End of last year, yeah.
Yeah. You have to catch Wes Anderson films in the cinema. What did you think?
I actually thought a very similar thing to watching Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't very satisfied by the story.
But it was brilliant.
Satisfied as in I'm not satisfied with this. I meant like satisfied. You don't get whatever. I wasn't very satisfied with the story, but I fucking loved it.
Brilliant. Yeah. He's so creative. No one makes films like him. And
it's so inspiring, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
What did you think? You liked it?
Yeah, I liked it, but I feel like we could have. I felt a little bit let down by the fact that we got to there's 3 separate stories, really, isn't there, throughout the film?
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the first one, I was in on the first one, so I wanted to continue. So after the first one ended, I was like, so that put a damper on it. But then I really liked the second story. I think the second story was maybe my favorite one. No. I think the first one was my favorite one. What was the one with Benicio del Toro?
Yeah, the first one.
That was my favorite one. Yeah. But then I really liked the second one. And then that one ended. So I was like, oh, so you see what I mean? So it was like there were all three good stories, but I wanted more from all three of them. And kind of halfway through the second one, I was like working it out in my head. This is what it's going to be. And I guess that kind of threw me off because it took my attention away from watching the film. But you didn't really need your attention because it's three short stories, you know?
Very similar experience with Licorice Pizza. It's not as cut and dry as literally Wes Anderson obviously does the whole fourth wall sort of part one, part two. It's not as cut and dry as that, but very similar vibe of like sort of completely separate sections of this movie that have,
I mean, it's also one to see in the cinema just with his visuals and the sound, and he's just brilliant. And I mean, when I saw Isle of Dogs, for example, in the cinema, I really enjoyed that cinema experience more so than watching it just on the TV in my room, But then again, I didn't see the Grand Budapest Hotel in the cinema. However, every time I've seen that in my house, I've loved it. I wonder how much I would have loved it on the big screen. So it's going to be interesting whenever I get the French Dispatch, on whether it's on Blu-ray or if it's just on a streaming service, and seeing how much it holds up at home. I assume it will because of the nature of like the short attention span kind of way it's filmed. But I thought that was brilliant. The other one was King Richard, the tennis film. You didn't see it?
I didn't see it.
I thought because obviously you're a tennis fan.
I wanted to.
It's great.
I will still watch it, but it passed me by at the cinema.
Things like that happen all the time. Even Licorice Pizza there's like one show in a day now. You know what I mean? So it's like I've totally missed it. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? But King Richard was great, and I would recommend it. More so,
you like that film, right?
Yeah. And it's a tennis film, obviously, but it's less of a tennis film than Battle of the Sexes was. You see, like Battle of the Sexes with Steve Carell and Emma Stone was a great film, but it was a tennis film.
Very tennisy.
And like the main thing is obviously this tennis game that's going to happen. Whereas the main theme of King Richard is their story, not so much the tennis. And I think that helps it. Really interesting. As not a big tennis, no, I don't like tennis, but I just don't follow it as much as you do. I know Serena Williams, and I know Venus Williams.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that was going to be the theme. It's like Serena Williams is the star, Venus is her sister. Whereas I didn't know that at first Venus was the one that had like all the potential and everyone was looking at, and Serena felt like the outcast. And that's kind of like the whole film is focused on Will Smith's, vision for the two of them, and Venus gets the spotlight. And I didn't know that. So even that I didn't know about. So that kind of had my enjoyment of the film, because it was one that was like, oh, that's something I've learned. It was a story that I didn't know. And Will Smith does a brilliant job. There's something about him. He's not known as a brilliant actor, but he's such a brilliant performer in everything he does. When he's on a talk show and he's talking to Graham Norton or whoever, you just can't stop watching him. He's being himself, and you can tell he's not being fake either. And that's why you like him. Yeah. But then when he's on screen, he's very famous. It's Will Smith. But somehow he's able to, you forget he's a great actor, Same as like Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise. These people are so famous that you watch them. It's, watching Tom Hanks act here. But they're so good, you still get lost in their films.
There's some Oscar buzz, is there not, around his performance in this film?
Don't know. Not heard of it.
I've heard that. I need to see it. I know loads about that situation in real life just because of my tennis obsession. What I do always think about Serena and Venus Williams is I feel like in the general public sort of world, not necessarily tennis fans, like Venus Williams is kind of lost a bit because of Serena's monumental success and like being the greatest of all time, in terms of like stats and Grand Slam wins almost, and just what she's achieved. But you forget that Venus Williams, I think Grand Slams, which are the biggest tournaments in tennis, it's very hard to even win one. And Serena's won 23.
Crazy.
And Andy Murray, for example, has won 3, and that was fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I think Venus has won something like 14 or something, which is ridiculous. It's obscene. It's so many. I don't know the number exactly, but it's so many. And if she didn't have this unbelievably successful sister, she'd be like
the most famous tennis player ever.
One of the greatest of all time. But she's got this sister who who's become the greatest of all time. It's interesting. I bet that film kind of clears things up for people, which I think is good as well.
Lots of great performances in that film. Totally recommended. But let's chat about the film that is the highlight of today's episode.
Yeah.
I feel like we've spoken about the other films more. But this is Don't Look Up, the Netflix film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jenifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep, and a bunch of others. A bunch of other great actors, actually. It's a really strong cast. It's a really strong idea for a film that they were brave to tackle. And as soon as I heard what the film was about, I went, I now understand why DiCaprio was doing this kind of safe film for him, role-wise. But it's on Netflix. He's the, arguably top 5 biggest actors in the world. He can do anything he likes. Why is he choosing this film? Because he's so passionate about all this stuff, climate change, the future of the world, the leadership and all that stuff. He's talked about it in his Oscar speech. And at first I was like, okay, this is just more, they don't do like a song with like Justin Bieber or something about the planet being green and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh, this is another thing that, Leonardo DiCaprio was doing to promote this message. Then when you start watching the film, you find out it's much more than that. It's a total satire on what the world is becoming. And it's very, very real. It's quite scary at times, not because it's a horror and there's any jump scares, but because of the potential future of what's going to happen in the world. But it's also very funny. And the comedy and the satire really, really helps the film, because if it was just, the message that we're getting across this film, people would roll their eyes at the film. People are already rolling their eyes at this film, but people wouldn't give it time of day. The comedy makes it easy to watch for a topic that's a really touchy subject, really, especially for someone as famous as DiCaprio. So from my description there, you might be able to tell that I really like this film. I know some people are a little bit sour on it because, the message that it's promoting and the politics behind it, but I think it's really, really good. I think it's very well made, very well edited, actually. And yeah, what did you think?
Well, I was extremely, I think about, like a lot of people, extremely hyped about this film because I was thinking about this. It kind of has all my favorite actors in it. Meryl Streep, Leo, Mark Rylance are
hilarious.
Are definitely 3 of my favorite actors ever. Who I would watch a film just because they're in it.
Yeah.
And so obviously I was going to watch this film. So I was hyped. I think, and I'm going to say I liked the film. I really liked the film. I would probably watch it again.
Yeah.
And Jonah Hill, I must say, I really like Jonah Hill. He's kind of underrated as an actor. A lot of people who haven't seen Wolf of Wall Street are kind of going, Jonah Hill? It's like,
exactly. He's like this comedy guy, film. And he's actually great.
Yeah. No, he's brilliant. I think the problem, the crux of the issue with this film for me, about the whole discussion about it, about everything, is I think it hyped itself too much.
Okay.
It kind of was marketed before it came out as this, like, it kind of did it to itself. It's like Meryl Streep, DiCaprio, Rylance, Jenifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, all together, Adam McKay,
Kate Blanchett,
climate change, all this cast. I mean, you could list it forever. And it's about the world today. It's changing. It's going to change the world. Essentially, it's kind of what they were saying about this film, and it might do, but it's a good film. It's a good film. It's entertaining. It's got a message.
It's entertaining.
Whatever you know what I mean. It's funny. It's not for me this life-changing, sonata or whatever. I don't know, this piece of brilliance that is gonna shift the earth on its axis. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
But that's fine for me. But I think why a lot of people are there's a sort of a mixed opinions about it is, I think, because a lot of people were kind of going in with those expectations.
Okay.
And if you're expecting the film of the decade, you're just going to be disappointed. Most films you watch, I reckon there was a bit of that about. So I thought I'd say that, but I didn't really expect it to be, one of my favorite films of all time, and it wasn't one of my favorite films of all time, but I really liked it.
As you say, if you're going in with that expectation to any film, greatest film ever made, it's going to be tough to get over that barrier.
For me, it was exactly what I thought it would be. I thought and I was thinking back to The Big Short,
Yeah,
Vice,
yeah.
which is kind of the direction he's going down. I liked The Big Short. I liked The Big Short a lot. Vice was okay, but so I kind of knew it was going to be like that. I knew that it was obviously going to be stunning performances and probably pretty stunning writing, and that's going to carry a film like we're saying. Like it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be interesting. What I didn't expect was the end.
Yes, let's talk about
And I think that was the right choice because it does, unlike most films, leave you a bit depressed and sad. I guess that's the idea. But what
that. I don't
as a
think.
film, I thought it made it unique. It is unique, kind of the end. It's kind of like Revenge of the Sith in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's
end the
always
film and
bring
you
it back
go,
to Star Wars.
oh.
Yeah.
But it is. I can't think of Revenge of the Sith for me is one of my favorite films of all time because the bad guys win. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just love how they play that out. And it's kind of similar in this film. You know, bad guys being, well, I guess.
It's hardly bad guys, is it? It's nothing they can really do about it. It's Comet. Yeah, it didn't leave me sad and disappointed or depressed, that maybe said, but like I think I was expecting it to kind of have that turnaround right at the last minute, like most films do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a couple of films recently, I can't think of them offhand, but there's been plenty of times recently in the cinema where I went, all right, glad they didn't just have a happy ending that they always do. So I quite like that. It kind of like didn't shook. It wasn't shook, but I was like, whoa, wow, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Didn't expect that, but it totally fit into the nature of the film. That's the message they were trying to get across. That we can make a film about it. We can go on the news and talk about it. We can make YouTube videos and TikToks and all this stuff about it. It's still going to happen. You know, we can have all this great acting and put together this great cast, and it's been a very well made film. But at the end of the day, this could still happen. You know, I guess that was the point.
I wonder if, though, that I just always think with these things, people who don't think climate change is an existential threat, are they going to be watching this movie and going, oh, you know what, it actually is?
Yeah, I get you. You think people are going to take like the huff a little bit and just be like, I'm not watching this film. I mean, come on.
What are you preaching me to? Fuck off.
More nonsense. I mean? Yeah, like that's not, I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't know. I just think with all these things, I don't know what the answer is, but I just feel like it's probably a load of people like us and, you know, people who do I don't know, maybe it's trying to get people like us to take action, people who believe in it, but maybe aren't. I don't know. I just think the people who don't believe in climate change aren't gonna, you know, they're not.
It's not like we're like, oh, thank God for this film because now those people who don't believe in climate change are going to change their opinion. Like that's not what we're saying.
Thing. I don't know. It's very tricky. It's like,
I'm assuming that was the point
about those people.
Is that one of the objectives of the film to try and change people's opinions?
Maybe, but surely, I don't know. I just can't picture someone watching and going, "Oh, you know what? I think it's real."
Because it is a lot
pretty bad.
Is that because of the comedy? Do you think that people are thinking, "Oh, this is just taking the piss"? Then,
no, not the comedy. Just it's got a very clear message, and part of the whole point of the film is that so many people, even when there's very clear science about a thing, can sort of be radicalized in a direction where they like don't believe it. So
yeah,
those people are already don't believe. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to this is. It's kind of a pointless conversation in a way, but I think it's interesting just to be like, who's it for, this film then?
Yeah. I get, yeah. Well, I mean,
for us.
It's on Netflix, so it's for everybody.
Is it preaching to the choir? I always think with these things. Is it just people going, yep, oh God, climate change is bad, eh?
Let's watch a film about it.
I don't know. But like I say, with the end of the film, I do think it stands out. It is unique. It does stand apart from other films that might have a message or whatever. But yeah.
Nice. I actually didn't hear anything about the film beforehand. So
really,
maybe that added to my enjoyment. Maybe I was living under a rock or whatever, but I was a very busy December, I must say. But I didn't see, maybe I just wasn't on Netflix at all. But you're talking about this big hype thing. I had to. People were telling me about it, the film, and I was like, "What about it?" And then I went on and I looked at the cast, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And when I read the cast list, that made me want to watch it, not because I saw any trailers or any hype about it. So I think that
Really?
helped my enjoyment of the film, just because I was told it was good, great watch, new DiCaprio film, and I was like, "All right, yeah, then."
That's what got me hyped about it. Like, was it even a year ago where like the first
Really?
little snippet was announced and it was Leo's film, and I was like, oh, Leo's next film. Everyone wants to see Leo's next film. It kind of started from that as me,
Right?
For me, but then it evolved into and Mel Streep's in it, and Mark Rylance is in it, and Adam McKay. He's written.
Jennifer Lawrence is really good too. I think we should highlight her. She's really good.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep as the president. You're thinking it's going to be one thing, a female president, and it's Meryl Streep. We all love Meryl Streep, and then she's total like this is what Trump was like, and you know what I mean? It's like this. She's totally the opposite of what you expect, and she's like Jonah Hill's mum and stuff. Like, I just thought, oh, that was really cleverly written. Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong, Timothy Chalamet, who is getting a lot of buzz and is getting a lot of work. He's in everything. I keep saying to myself, I'm not a fan of him, but he's yet to really let me down. Really, he's actually really good.
Yeah, you can be not a fan. I think not a fan doesn't necessarily mean you hate something. I'm not a fan of, the
Star Wars sequels.
No. I'm trying to think of something now. I'm not a fan of radiators. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of radiators. I'm a fan of radiators. I love radiators.
I love a bit of radiation.
I bleed them all the time. I like radiators. It's nice to have them there. They're essential for me. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fanboy. Oh, I'll fuck myself here.
I think I know what you're getting at. You can still use them and appreciate them, but it's not as if you walk about wearing a t-shirt.
No, I'm not a fan. I won't watch a film just because Timothy Chalamet's in it, but he just happens to be in all the films.
Yeah,
so I watch him quite a lot.
Fine, yeah.
And he's good. He's a very good actor. Obviously, he's talented.
Yes. I think a couple of the roles I saw him in originally, he was a little bit dry. And I think the first impressions are massive, especially in film. And especially me, like I'm quite stubborn that way where they stick with me. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think of that person. And then I love it when they win me over. You know what I mean? I love it when it's like, oh man, I've seen like 6 of the films now and they're great and everything. I'll go see the next one. So hopefully that happens with Timothy. That's what I mean about this cast. Ariana Grande pops up too. You know why? He does a good job. Kid Cudi, Hamish Patel. Let's see, Ron Perlman. It's a crazy cast. I didn't see all this beforehand, so maybe that's why you were kind of had a tinted enjoyment of it. But I still really liked it.
I didn't have a tinted enjoyment of it. I'm saying I think that's why it was a mixed response.
I see.
I liked it, and I went in thinking I'd like it, and so I was perfectly fine.
People are kind of like,
of course, I looked at the reaction. I was so like, oh, it's got mixed reviews.
Yeah,
oh, interesting. Why? Because I thought it was good. But I get it. It's makes sense to me.
It's got a 49 Metascore right now on IMDb, which is low for a film like this.
Very low. I saw that as well afterwards. I was like, shit, I didn't think it was bad. I kind of see if I see a film with 49 Metascore, I'm probably not gonna watch it.
Oh, see, I think that's still okay. I think when you're getting below 40, then maybe you can think about that. But 49 still, because the Metascore is the critics, and then if, say, for example, so it's a 49 Metascore, it's got a 7.2 rating from the fans. So I was like, oh, it must be all right then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. When the Metascore picture is red, you're in trouble.
Then you're out. Yeah.
I'll still watch it to get an opinion.
What I would say is after this film, I went down a rabbit hole of comets and asteroids.
All right.
Because that was obviously, I knew the message was about climate change, but the actual film obviously is about a comet hitting Earth. And I then just went, oh my God, that would be awful. Imagine though. And it can happen. I looked into it now. Like they could say about 6 months from now, there's this behemoth thing that has come shooting out of space
the size of
into
Mount
our
Everest.
vision. the size of Mount Everest and is coming towards us, and we'd have about 6 months. Like I was listening to astronomers talk about that, and they'd be like, "That's probably about right," and it's like, that's horrible.
It's a horrible thought.
What the fuck? What? That's always as an existential thing, like
Yeah.
end of the world stuff that could actually happen, like from space or something. It's oh my god.
What did you make of the final scene then when like the comet hits and
like a big chunk of the earth?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is they're all sitting just having a conversation about the coffee that they make. You know, is that how it's going to go down? They're all just sitting there with family, having dinner, talking about something completely irrelevant, and then boom, that's it.
I mean, that's the ideal situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like that, would it?
Probably not. People would.
Maybe
people wouldn't have that. What's the word? Keen of a head, you know.
Maybe not. I don't know if I would.
No, me neither.
I'd still be thinking. In my mind, I was going, "What if you're at the other side of the earth? Maybe you could dodge it a wee bit."
Just like Japan or something, that you dodge it.
Yeah, just like, oh, it's hit. I guess
we've got another month till it hits us.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
What did you make of DiCaprio's mad like rant monologue bit when he's in the news thing, and you know Kate Blanchett's character's like, "We're going to take a break," and he's like, "No, we're not taking a break. Why don't we understand this?" And he goes off, and I know a lot of it was improvised on top of that. People are saying, "Oh my god, it's the performance of his life." I mean, it's a good moment, and it's a good monologue, and it's a good improv scene. But it is, you know, and you can tell as well, it's just a lot of shouting, right? It's just DiCaprio, who's a great actor, just happens to be a great actor, but he's just screaming this stuff. Yeah. But what makes that scene good and why it makes it so stand out because it's him is because he's clearly so passionate about it in real life. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
you can hear the passion coming out of his voice. It's just turned up a little bit because he's acting, you know.
It's cool when stuff like that happens in movies when it's a wee bit real. I haven't heard people say, "Oh, it's the performance of his life." That's not. I haven't thought about that since actually. I go, oh yeah, that was a good scene. He was good in that.
It was good, yeah.
But no, sure. This isn't a DiCaprio performance that has, you know, completely. I'm not in awe of it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of in awe of everything he does because I think he's just supremely talented. But this performance, in particular, no, it didn't. Didn't leave me in the same way as maybe his performances in Django or even Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
I think his performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is one of my favorites. I think he's so good in that movie. It's one of my favorite performances of the last decade. I'm going to say that.
That's one of the, we were talking about earlier on coming out of the cinema and being like, there wasn't much of a story there, but we just loved that experience. Yeah, it was so great together. We just loved every aspect of the film.
Yeah.
And the story was fine, but it's like, it was one of the secondary things about the film that we liked, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas a lot of people would say story first, and that's kind of fair. But, no, Leo in that film. Oh. But he's equally good in this film, but it didn't.
In a different way.
It didn't get me going in the same way that some of his other performances has. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a wee bit depressing. The whole thing. It's kind of.
It's also more subtle for him, and it's more real. You know, he's playing a real person. You know what I mean?
I suppose the thing with Leo is he is the sort of the last sort of movie star, if you like, and the whole idea of him and his sort of movie stardom has been like Leo sort of lives in this world. He's always in these movies about other things, about Hollywood in the 60s, or about
The Revenant.
You know, The Revenant or Wolf of What, this moment in time, and these sort of fantasy things. It's obviously not literal fantasy, but these movies, these larger than life things that are so separate from reality in a way. And I don't know, maybe to see Leo in a film that is very much of this time and very much grounded in things that are happening now or will happen in the future. But it was, I guess it was kind of jarring to me because I always sort of see Leo as he's a movie star, and I want to see Leo
larger than life
do things large, not or
in a way.
I don't know. Do you know in this ways that sometimes a lot of movies take you away, take you another place? I feel like when you're going to the DiCaprio verse, it's a place to go, right? This you can't go to the DiCaprio verse because you're so throughout the film you're thinking about oh god, that was like that. It is kind of like that. Oh, I should maybe do less of that. Oh, Instagram. You know, you're thinking about So it's like, no, don't. I know Leah's into this, but don't. Part of me is like, don't bring him into this world.
Yeah,
This is a shit world.
You're like,
no.
You lose yourself when you're watching DiCaprio sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can't really lose yourself in this film because it's actually, some of it's somewhat real.
Exactly. So I'm like, part of me, I'm just thinking of this as I go, but I'm kind of realizing it as I go. But part of me is like, no, Leo, I want to see you. I want to see you. I want to escape to Leo. I want to escape to Leo. I cannot escape to Leo in this film. It's not a feel-good film. Not that his movies are, but I don't know. What Django? You're just like, surely, I know it's all, like Django, Wolf of Wall Street, even Great Gatsby. These movies have political messages. They have meaning, but there's something so in your face and stark about this film's. It's just you can't escape. You can't get away from the message. It's all about the message. And yes, there's comedy, there's amazing acting, great writing, but maybe that's why you're not as DiCaprio sort of. Oh my god! DiCaprio.
Because it's kind of mixed in with all these other things because I mean, there's other great stars in it, but they're all reacting to the real life situations. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting film, and it's probably one I will watch again at some point, but not anytime soon. But it is. And listen, we're kind of talking as if it's like this, really like it's a really depressing film because of the ending, and it's somewhat real and scary. It's a great film, and it's worth definitely watching. I think anyway.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, it's not actually that funny.
No, there's funny moments.
My enjoyment didn't actually come out of the fact that it was funny. My enjoyment came out with the fact that there's just the great writing and great characters again. And the story, I guess. But thinking back on it isn't that funny. But that shouldn't turn you off.
No.
It's good. It's a good film, I think.
Nice. Just before we sign off here, I've been doing this thing I'm going to do these things. I'm going to do this thing on the upcoming episodes of The Good Bit Season 3. I'm asking the people who are on the show about their first time at the cinema. And I was wondering if you can recall, I didn't prep you for this whatsoever, but is there any early memories that you have of going to the cinema that you can share with us before we go?
I feel like we've talked about this, have we not?
We probably have, but this is just something I'm going to do for the YouTube channel where I'm going to upload individual videos. That's just why I'm asking.
Oh, okay. Individual videos on YouTube. Shit, yeah. I'm nervous now.
That's just why I was asking. Listen, if you can't remember, that's fine. But
I think it may have been something like Finding Nemo.
Strong.
It may have also not been, but that's my first memory, I feel. Finding Nemo. Yeah, Finding Nemo.
And is that a film that you look back on fondly? Or do you not bother?
I don't watch it. I haven't watched it. Probably.
You not watched it since, really?
No. I watched it on like DVD and stuff, but no, I don't. I do look. Well, clearly, don't think about it very much because I was like, "What was the?" Yeah. No. Well, something like I do remember seeing Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the one with Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
and that must have been pretty. Well, maybe that wasn't that early.
2005, I believe that film came out.
That's pretty early.
That's pretty early. Yeah, you would have been.
I must have been young.
7?
Yeah.
8?
Well, that's quite late then. Yeah. Monsters Inc. Oh, it must have been.
Monsters Inc. was my first cinema experience in 2001.
Oh, well, then when did Finding Nemo come out? Because maybe that may have been mine. Do you know?
I think Finding Nemo was 2003.
Then I must have. I think. Did I see Monsters Inc. in the cinema?
Look up Finding Nemo. Tell me what year it came out. If I've just nailed that. 2003.
Yeah.
So one of my weird things I can do.
Well, if you were at the cinema in 2001, then I probably was too. I don't know.
Well, we didn't know each other in 2001. I went with my family. I was a child.
Yeah, you should have taken me.
You can bring a friend.
So yours was Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. Yes. Here's the issue though. When I ask this question to everybody else, then they end up asking me the question, and I'm going to need to tell the story on every episode. But that's fine.
But we don't tell the story if you don't want to. But you're sure it was.
Well,
Cold hard fact.
from my memory, it is. Yeah, maybe there was one before that I was a literal baby and they took me in and just because they wanted to see a film and they didn't know what to do with me, and I sat on my dad's knee for the duration. Maybe that happened, but the first one I can remember seeing, and it makes sense, doesn't it? 2001, I was 4. It's a Disney film, like that kind of sounds about right. And yeah, but not. It wasn't one of the ones like I went and sat and watched the film and was like glued to the cinema the whole time. I was one of those kids that would run around in the cinema and stuff. I spoke about this on the YouTube channel as well. And yeah, so there was, I remember vividly in my head, there's like, see the steps going up to the seats. There was like, it was like big steps. And during the film, me and like other kids in that screen were like just jumping on the steps up and down. And now, like, I hate other people doing that at the cinema. I hate other people eating in the cinema that I'm in.
Yeah.
Never mind walking up and down the stairs. But obviously, it must have been like a afternoon cinema go, you know, just to get the kids out of the house. So I don't think that the parents were that fussed about it. But yeah, that was my first memory. Other than that, I definitely saw things like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I saw Revenge of the Sith in the cinema 2005. Those would have been early memories too. Around the World in 80 Days, the Jackie Chan one. What year was that? I was definitely early. Saw that one in the cinema. Yeah. Incredibles, maybe saw the Incredibles in 2004. I don't know, but I can tell you, I remember seeing Monsters Inc. at the cinema. It's got to be my first one.
I'm interested. I don't. Well, it clearly isn't my first memory at the cinema because I can't remember it. But I may have gone.
It's what you think is your first one.
It may have been, but I don't know. I'm gonna say Finding Nemo, but it clearly wasn't my first. It's my first memory. I don't really care. I don't. Yeah. Well, I don't know. No, surely not.
No, all right, okay. Did you go see Finding Dory in the cinema when it came out in 2016?
No, I didn't see that. Not seen that. Is it good?
Yeah. We went and saw it like with college people, I think, and like we talked about it on the Good Bit when it came out. I think anyway. Yeah, we did.
Well, I didn't.
I think you were away by then.
All these good bits I just wasn't invited to.
The
excuse is he's away.
Aye, that was the excuse. But this is before we had Zoom. I would be on the phone to you and be like, Aaron, we're doing a podcast about Finding Nemo. It was the first time you saw it, something at the cinema. You want to come on?
You should know. Yeah.
You're a fish lover. All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Good to be back on the Good Bit, yeah?
Yeah, brother.
Well, listen, take a couple of weeks off because I've got some guests lined up for the next few weeks. And then I want you to watch a film within these next few weeks. Take some notes, and then you're picking the film we're doing next time.
Oh, shit. Are we doing... So we've started... I swear too much as well. I think that as well. I don't know if that's to do with being Scottish, but I swear.
It's nothing to do with being Scottish. There's plenty of other nationalities that swear a lot.
I know that, but it's nice in a Scottish accent. I do think that.
Oh, do you think it's nice? Okay.
No, nice is not the word. Enjoyable might be the
your
word.
swearing's lovely. Well,
there is a difference though.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
If I go
lovely.
Shit.
That's lovely.
Thanks, man.
Shit. That's different.
It sounds a lot more harsh, doesn't it?
Shit. Well, you can't monetize this. This is on YouTube.
I will.
Okay. No, it's not for kids.
You can click that. Yeah, you need to click that. It's not for kids.
I know.
So you can listen. The thing we did for season 2 was that it had to be available for both of us to watch. However, if you come up with a film that I know well, and that, you know, if you wish to do Star Wars, then fine.
No, we need to move on. Although I do need to watch Boba Fett, so it might just be that.
Well, we'll talk about the series next episode anyway.
Because this is a film podcast. I forget.
Oh, we can talk about it as well if you want. Yeah. We've got Boba Fett. Yeah. You will, when you start watching it, you'll be like, okay, yeah.
Don't do that.
Kind of get this. And then as it goes on, it's like every single other show. You need to give it time and then you'll enjoy. All right. Okay. That's all I'll say. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for listening and watching. This is the Return of the Good Bit podcast, episode number 1 of season 3. My mask over there now, I can't reach it. But thank you very much for listening. Let me know what you thought of the video aspect of it. And tune in next week where Aaron will not be here. And next week on the show, we have one of my fellow acting friends, Madeline McGurk, is going to be on the show. And we're going to talk about a film a lot different than Don't Look Up. And I'll leave you hanging there wondering what the film is. But until next time, from myself and from R&D, thanks for listening to the Good Bit B.
See you later.